is Kathleen Besas.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the talks this morning. We worked really hard on them. So I wanted to start off the speech by saying, a wise man once told me, "Bahala og dili ka highest, basta perfect." It's a Visayan saying that my grandfather, Lolo Piping, would used to tell me right before an exam to hype me up. And it translates to, in English, it doesn't matter if you don't get the highest grade as long as you get the perfect score. Doesn't make sense. My name is Kathleen Besas, and I am a proud first-generation immigrant. I was born and raised in a tiny province called Bohol in central Visayas, Philippines, and I came to the United States when I was only 13 years old. My mother at the time thought that it would be the best decision for our family. And just like many immigrant families, it was so we can pursue what many refer to as the American dream. But you see, coming to America when you're 13 is very tricky because it's a very delicate age. It's this transition when you're emerging from childhood and into adulthood. And you're young enough to be able to assimilate, but also old enough to be able to retain your culture and your values, your native tongue. So for most of my life, I've always struggled with having a sense of a bicultural identity. I've always struggled finding a sense of belonging, finding a sense of community. Do I belong here? Do I belong there? Maybe it's okay to be in between. But in those moments of confusion, I would always just hear my grandfather whisper in my ear, "Bahala o dili ka highest, basta perfect." It may not have made sense to me then, but it makes perfect sense to me now. My grandparents were both teachers in the Philippines, and even at a very early age, they've always instilled within me the importance of education. They taught me to always reach for the stars, and that's always something that's kept me grounded and steadfast. I clung on to that even to this day. When I look up in this room today, I see a quality in me that I see in each and every single one of us. And it puts a smile on my face because it reminds me of every single time we would get new syllabus posted on Canvas, and we frantically scroll through the document to see the two most dreaded words, group work. And it's funny, right? Because I vividly remember thinking to myself, why is it so dang hard to work with these people? And we struggled with it, right? We took maybe a few tries to get it right, to find the perfect group that we could all mesh along well with. And then it dawned on me that maybe, just like me, they're people that have very strong personalities. They're typical OCD, type A, perfectionist overachievers. No wonder it was hard. But you see, you kind of have to be, though, to get this far. And if there's one thing that I learned from all those groups assignments, exactly just that these are very strong women. And man, brother Kevin, I got you. And perhaps some of the strongest and most inspiring individuals I have ever met in my life. For example, we have a mother of 4 who gave birth to her 4th in the middle of finals week, only to bounce right back onto Zoom classes right after she had her baby boy. And yes, she does it with so much ease, so effortless. Certified supermom for short. We have a teenage mother who had her first baby at 16, plowed her way against all odds and against the world, and she's standing tall, loud, and proud here with us today. In fact, her baby boy is turning 34 on the day of graduation. high school dropout who later got her GED as a single mother, then to get on her ADN, to her BSN, to MSN, to now a DNP. Literally started from the bottom and now we are here. We have single mothers who work 60 to 80 hours a week just to make ends meet, on top of juggling a very rigorous doctoral program, and yet still manage to get it done. We have folks who went through health issues, breakups, losses. We've had to switch jobs in the middle of the hardest semester of the program because we were left with no other choice. I've had our proposals rejected, only to start from scratch all over again, and yet we are still here. The age range in our group is worth noting as well. I think our youngest is 29, and our most experienced classmate is turning 62 years young this year. In fact, he is the last and only male standing in the group. And yet he has so much vigor for life and is just as thirsty for learning and growth as much of those of us who are in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. You see, we all come from different walks of life, but when I look up in this room today, I see one common denominator, and that is strength, that is resilience, and that is perseverance. And it gives me profound joy, honor, and pride to have shared a very rewarding and humbling experience with each and every single one of your beautiful souls. You know, growing up as a first-generation immigrant, sometimes the journey can feel very isolating because it feels as though I am all on my own, paving the way for future generations to come. And sometimes that can feel like a very heavy responsibility to carry. Sometimes I have the deepest yearning for a role model to look up to guide me, to tell me that I'm doing just fine, to tell me that I'm headed in the right direction. And when I had no one, I just had to be that for myself. But it is my only hope as I stand in front of you here today that I'm doing exactly just that for my younger sister and my cousins who were in the audience today. Other times, though, I was fortunate enough to have found lifelong mentors in people within the classroom setting itself, in our teachers, and our bosses at work. I would like to give a special shout out to Dr. Iderlina Landera, who is not here with us today. She's my boss at work. But I just want to say thank you for believing in me during a time when it was difficult for me to believe in myself. You are the epitome of a Filipino-American nurse leader that I look up to and I aspire to be. Because sometimes all we need is just that one person to tell you, I believe in you, and actually mean it. That makes all the difference in the world. So to our beloved nursing faculty, thank you. Thank you for believing in us when self-doubt was at an all-time high. To our families and friends, thank you for your unconditional love and support, for lending that extra hand when we needed it the most. A special shout out to my friends, and a very special shout out to my mother, because it's actually her birthday today. In fact, I'm gonna have her stand up because this is her moment too. Happy birthday, Mom. Thank you for all the sacrifices that you have made, because I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for you. You can sit down. To my cohort 11 classmates, thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your perseverance. And thank you for being each other's cheerleaders when the going got rough. It was one hell of a ride. And it was an honor to learn with you and to learn from you. And to last but not the least, to that 13-year-old child that resides within all of us. Thank you for never giving up. Thank you for weathering through life's storms with so much grace. Thank you for your faith. Thank you for your resilience, and thank you for your strength. You are enough. You have always been and always will be, and I am so proud of you. And I cannot wait to see you disseminate your light because the world needs it. Congratulations, doctors. We are the CSU Doctors of Nursing class of 2023. Thank you.